All right, everybody, welcome back. It is another Friday, which means another tech support stream. Today, you have the dream team of three. I'm going to be hosting today. My name is Alec. I'm an interactive media specialist here at NETGEAR, so I do a lot of the photography and graphic design. And with me, I have Darren and Ben. Darren, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Darren. I'm a technical support specialist and community moderator. I've covered most all home products, so should be able to help answer any questions. I'm not going to try my dream team joke again. I don't think it worked last time.
And Ben, go ahead.
Okay. Obviously, I'm dreaming. Ben Acevedo, Nighthawk Pro Gaming Brand Experience Manager, here to answer all of your questions related to Nighthawk Pro Gaming. Excited to be here. It's a Friday. And this is going to be different than our previous formats because, today we're shrinking it down. It's going to be a 1 hour format. So get in all your questions. We've got a lot of exciting stuff. So I guess
Definitely. And in addition to that, we did want to give a little update because we know that one of the fan favorites here on the show is Michael. He is the all-knowing networking god. And he is going back to his home, which is great. I'm sure many of you are aware in the national, news scene that California has been having a lot of wildfires, and he was unfortunately, affected by those fires, but he's able to go back home. So he's doing that today, and he should be back next week. Hopefully, if everything goes well with his move back. So, to all of those who are concerned about Michael, everything's good, and he'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you've got the abridged mini dream team here. And yeah, we'll be on for an hour today. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are cool, we can jump right into the questions. Looks like we already have a few. But before we do that, the weekly reminder, if you're enjoying the stream and if we were able to help you, please remember to like the video, and it'll help us reach more people, help more people out, and it'll bring more people into the VOD after the fact. So it helps us, and hopefully it helps you guys too.
Yeah, and if you can, if you haven't, I mean, most of you guys, I see a lot of regulars out there, and thanks, joining. Hit the little bell and subscribe.
Totally.
We'll give you alerts when this and other content. For those gamers that are watching, Tuesday noon, be here, because we have two major announcements. I can't say what they are, but they are major announcements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I'm personally really excited for those streams. NPG was one of the first things I really worked on a lot when I came to NETGEAR, and has a dear spot in my heart. So I'm excited for that event. Excuse me.
All right.
And then also shout out to the regulars, as Ben mentioned. Vanessa, welcome back. We have Gabriel, one of our regulars, welcome back. Always great to see some familiar faces. But without further ado, let's jump into the questions. So the first question is from Marcial. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Marcial says, I hope you all had a great week. My CM1200 modem might have issues. Xfinity changed the cable from the outside, and I still have to reboot the modem every day. I connected the old modem that I've had for 4 years, and it's working fine. I've only had the CM1200 since June. I feel like we might have addressed this in a previous broadcast. I might be misremembering who asked the question, but Darren, I do believe you mentioned that you thought it was something to do with Xfinity, and that Marcel should give them a call and see if they can re-verify the modem.
No, it might be an issue with Xfinity. He said he hooked his old modem up and it's working fine.
Mm-hmm.
His old modem might have different signal tolerances than the CM1200. So the signal could be just a little too high or a little too low after they made the change for the CM1200. It has to be within a specific range for it to work properly all the time. And if you're having to reboot, it sounds like it spikes a little bit or dips a little too low. And that's what's when you're having to reboot. You might also want to like remove any type of cable splitters that might be connected to the modem in the home. See if that helps at all. But yeah, you may have to get an Xfinity tech out there to check your signal levels again and make sure it's within the tolerances of that modem.
Could it also be that with the reset, you might want to do, it's an extreme measure, but to factory reset the modem and then just install it again like it's a brand new modem?
Uh, no, not if you said it recently happened after they changed some cabling. That tells me that there's a signal issue.
It's
They might have hooked a neighbor up and did something to your line or swapped you to a different thing out on their box.
true.
It's really touchy sometimes with those cable modems if they aren't within the tolerance levels, which I think it's like negative 35 to 35 decibels or something like that, if I remember right. Back from my cable days when I worked for a cable company.
See, that's the advantage of having this team. Just so many different uh,
Knowledge, so
path.
much
Yeah,
knowledge.
the knowledge base is
There
like
you go.
crazy.
Okay, cool. So, you know, let us know if what we have suggested is something you've already tried, and you know, if we should give another suggestion. But I think with Darren's history in cable, he knows best. So hopefully that's able to help you out. But yeah, let
Yeah.
us know. Okay, so we had a comment from Vanessa come in. The mural broadcast the other day was very nice. Yeah, thank you so much. Just to speak to that product a little bit, internally, Mural is one of the things that we love the most. It's so different from everything else that we do, and it's
It's a
exciting.
it's an exciting, fun product. I mean, especially now with COVID. I mean, let's just take a second to talk about it. Like with COVID and not going out to museums, you can actually bring the museum to your home.
Totally,
It's it's super cool,
totally.
and
Yeah.
as a little bit of a Marvel fanboy, I mean, the Marvel stuff is pretty exciting. I wish there was more of the um, pencil to ink to final kind of stuff. That would have been really cool thing to watch that process. But there's a lot of cool artwork and a lot of stuff from the MCU and posters and cool stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
content is just getting crazy with that. And then the new product, which is I'm looking at getting that for my parents so we can share photos like so easily. you know um I kind of miss the days of like going to when I was a little kid, going to the grandparents house and looking through the old photo albums, and
Yeah.
it has that same sort of feeling, and I think that's pretty awesome.
They all got like the sepia tone on them. They're like super old looking, all those photos. Yeah, I I'm looking to get my hands on one of the new canvases. I think that the integration with the iPhone Photos app is amazing.
That's super
The
killer.
way that it streamlines photo sharing makes it so automated. You can just to kind of speak to it, 'cause in case any of you guys, aren't aware of what it does, you can actually sync an album in your iPhone photos to your mural. And so anytime you put images in that folder, it'll automatically go to any mural synced to that photo or to that album. So if you have, grandparents on both sides of the family that both have murals, you can instantly share that photo with them. And I personally share a lot of photos with my mom. You know, I
Yeah.
don't live at home anymore, so sometimes I'll upload some artwork that I've done to her mural, and it'll just pop up, and that kind of stuff is cool. So
It's super cool. That's the kind of stuff that when you think about us as a whole, networking, we're all about like bringing people together, and mural just kind of naturally in a very personal way, especially with the new photo frame, is bringing people together and kind of connecting. It's super cool.
totally, totally, yeah. I mean, with working from home, I feel like a lot of Netgear has kind of reassessed like what's more of like the sentimental aspect of what we sell, and a lot of it's enabling people to be brought together.
So we got a very important question from Richard. Evening, guys from the UK. How did the T-Search dispatching from last week go? We actually have our man in the field, Angelo, is right now risking life and limb and COVID at our office in order to make that happen. So he's doing that today. That's why he's not with us right now. But yeah, I believe that should be shipping out to you.
Oh, did Richard win a t-shirt?
He did. I missed out on half the program last week because here in California we're doing some rolling blackouts because of the fires and also due to trying to keep the electrical grid stable. And so we had a electrical cutout right in the middle of the broadcast. So I just disappeared.
Well,
So
if it
I
blacks
missed.
out, all of a sudden you'll know why.
You'll know why. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been terribly inconvenient, but it's for a good cause. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think I should be okay. I live right next to a shopping mall, so I feel like they don't
Yeah,
want to lose revenue.
the city government for Alameda has not been as fantastic in announcing these things. They announce that there's a possibility that power could go rolling out, today, but then they're like, oh yeah, we're shutting down power in this part of the city in 2 minutes.
Oh
It's like,
no.
that's great, you posted it on Facebook, which requires electricity in order to get that. So good
Yeah, and
job.
not everybody. I mean, I don't remember the last time I went on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook anymore. Ben, by the way, thank you for posting for my birthday. I didn't see that until like 3 weeks later. I'm not a big Facebook user.
No, and the thing is that's the other funny thing is when you go to find information about your electrical grid, Facebook is the first place I think of. So welcome back, Adrian. And then Hamid, I recognize that name, so I believe that you came back. I did email my question through, haven't gotten a response to that note yet from Richard. Uh, so I just got that across. I think we were following up on it. We're looking into it. It's a where is that? You saw that today, didn't you, Darren?
Yeah, about Orbi access points not showing up in the attached list of the gaming
Yeah,
router.
it's a bit of a bigger question. So we are kind of looking into it. I apologize that we haven't gotten back to you as quickly as we normally do.
Yes, stay tuned into your inbox, Richard. We are aware of it, so thank you for
Yeah,
resurfacing it. We'll take care of you as
we're
best as we
we're
can.
we're definitely looking into it. It's kind of a bigger issue. We're actually going to have I forwarded over to the NetDuma team, so we'll see if it has something to do with that as well.
Cool. Hamad says, you guys in California have it bad. We
We
do
do.
right now.
We
Apparently next
do.
week it's supposed to be like over 100 all week, which, I come from the great state of Arizona, and that sounds like Arizona to me. Like that's why I moved here is to not deal with that.
Yeah, I moved here from Montana. There's 3 seasons in Montana. The hot season, the very, very cold season, and construction. And so I moved here because it seems like whoever's in charge of the universe just set California at 72 degrees and called it a day. It's like every single day it's like 72 and partly cloudy. But lately, uh, with the fires, we've had a heat wave. We're about to have a heat wave starting tomorrow, which means rolling blackouts. So it's been so hot that you need to open up your windows because, of course, because typical California weather is it's pretty temperate. It's right at that 72, and so nobody really has air conditioning. So uh, so it's been hot. So you open up your windows, and you open up your windows, and now it's smoky. So then you got to close your windows, and now it's hot, and it's just it's a
It's a mess.
it's a
It's a
mess, and
big
it's a
mess.
merry-go-round. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get over this heat wave. Hopefully get most of these fires contained. Some people, it's like Michael is getting back to his home, so that's a good sign. But yeah, a lot of people are hurting.
It does seem like the situation is improving. It's
Yeah,
kind of hard to say. Because every time I see, statistics, it's like, oh, it's only 5% contained, but it seems like it's getting better, so it's kind of weird. Um, I don't really know the full scope of the situation, but interesting times in California.
yeah.
But nonetheless, we have John Paul Bacon joining us in the chat.
Hello.
Welcome back. I recognize that name. Hope you're doing well. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. That's what we're here
Yeah,
for.
it's quiet Friday right before the long weekend. So
I think
you know,
everybody's checked out.
everybody is checked out. Um, I've got a topic. I don't know if you guys. So there is a big game that was released today by Crystal Dynamics, the Avengers. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Interesting. Is it like from the Marvel universe?
It is. It's based sort of on the Marvel universe, a little bit on the cinematic. It looks like at least the characterizations, and you play as any of the major characters. Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow,
Gotcha.
um, Captain America, and Ms. Marvel.
Hmm.
I think the campaign is from Ms. Marvel's perspective, but I think that like yeah, with Chadwick Boseman, I'm passing away. I'm hoping that they get Black Panther in on that as
Oh
quickly
yeah.
as
Yeah,
possible.
I heard that news. It was super sad.
Yeah, but it
Kind of
looks really cool. The game looks cool. You can also do missions online with your friends and gear up your character and that sort of thing. I think it's kind of looks like it's the direction of like Call of Duty with skins and gear, improvements.
Yeah, isn't the multiplayer kind of like what City of Heroes used to be? You kind of create your own hero with the powers that are within the Marvel universe, I think.
I think so. I think so. I'm good. I've got it downloading on the Xbox right now. It's pretty big. It's about 74 gigs. So, um, me and probably everybody else is trying to download it. Plus, it's Friday, which means it's Call of Duty time for the week update. So, Xbox Live is probably chugging pretty slow,
Well, there's
which
also another big release today, if you have forgotten. Tony Hawk
oh yeah,
re-release.
Tony Hawk. I've been playing Skater XL, so I think I might like also get Tony Hawk this weekend as well. It's a lot of stuff for gaming. It's starting to get into that mode. It's starting to get into fall. Also, there was the teaser for modern or Call of Duty Cold War,
I
which
saw that.
had a little bit of some controversy with Ronald Reagan in it, but it was kind of a crazy.
Just it looks like
But
an
the trailer,
interesting. It looks different.
it does, it does. I'm I just completed the Modern Warfare campaign, and I have to say that it's only been in the last like three Call of Duties that I've actually there's a single player campaign. I didn't know that, and so I've been kind of feeding through those. Oh, here we go. Question from Gabrielle.
Yeah, from Gabriel Lopez, who asks, I recently got my PLP 1200 power line, and I had a couple of questions. Let's say the power would go out or I disconnect it. Do I have to pair it back? So I have three of these units in my home. It's kind of funny. They come in a two pack, and I'm not using one of them. But they pair really easily. So if for some reason something went wrong, truthfully, and I don't know this factually, but I don't believe it would disconnect if the power went out. But if it did, literally just unplug it and plug it back in, and it should pair right back up. They pair incredibly easily. If it's already working, that is. If it's, if you're installing it for the first time, you might find that there's multiple, grids within your home. But if it's currently working, um, a power outage shouldn't be too detrimental. Worst
Yeah,
case, unplug it.
it's something that we uh, it's something that we had taken in consideration when you're doing a device that is plugged into the power. You always have to take in consideration that the power would go out.
Totally. Okay, and a question from John Paul Bacon. Anyone know anywhere I might be able to get a Nighthawk X8? I'm not positive if we sell that on our store, but I would first check our store. I do believe we sell that on our store. So that's going to be store.netgear.com.
Well, he's in Australia. Do we have an Australia
Oh, in
site or
Australia.
say? Yeah, he's looking for the AUS
Oh,
SKU.
I believe we just launched a UK site, but I don't think we have an Australia site yet. We may. I'm not remembering 100%. Um, I would check Amazon. Um, Amazon, we have they're a pretty global retailer for us. But I don't believe we have a native storefront for Australia yet. I'm sorry if I am misguiding you, but try Amazon. See if that works.
Yeah, we
Um,
don't have a store quite yet.
mhm.
Um, that is a Netgear store for Australia.
Oh, John
Oh,
Don't
Paul
you're
even.
is in the US.
in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
If
You don't need the AUS SKU then.
Yeah, you would want to be getting the NAS SKU. So um, you might have just been looking at like an Australian forum or something that was, suggesting that SKU. But for the US, you're not going to need that 100 AUS SKU. You're going to be getting
Yeah,
NAS. So yeah, I would suggest looking at the store.netgear.com.
yeah. The AX8 it should be on the store.
Gabriel says, okay, thanks. It works very great. It's giving him 87 megabytes out and he pays for 100 megabytes. That's good. That's good. I mean, ideally you're getting that top you're getting what you pay for, but Powerline does have a big issue with bottlenecking. So 87 megabytes over Powerline is pretty good. I personally get about 120 on my Powerline, but I use it for mostly streaming stuff. So it's not crazy demanding. And I find that Powerline is good for stability, um, not necessarily speed, but like a very constant stream. So, Hamad asks, what's the difference between the EX 8000 and the EX 7700? So, to kind of give some, context to how we name our products, and feel free to jump in, Darren or Ben, um, if I'm misguiding Hamad here, but typically the number that you're seeing is going to be the megabytes per second that it's rated for. So the EX 8000 is going to be rated for 8,000 megabytes per second or 8 gigs.
No,
Is that
no, no.
incorrect?
The EX8000 and the EX7700 have the same Wi-Fi capabilities,
Okay.
except the EX8000 is a desk unit with a switch in it, so you can plug Ethernet into it.
Yep.
Where the EX7700 is just a wall plug
Yeah.
for extending.
Yeah.
But they have the same Wi-Fi technology in both of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
The 8000 has 4 ports on the back, which is really helpful.
I have that one and I do like it. So the
I would
megabytes per second naming, is that only for our routers?
That's when it's AC or AX is in front of it.
Right. Okay. Okay.
That's what you're talking about. So
So that's for our routers then.
like
Makes
an
sense.
an AX80, actually we named it RAX80, but then it has an AX speed along with that, a tag along with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps clarify things. Um,
It's a little confusing.
Yeah, it's a little
It's always been
numbers.
kind of confusing how we have, you know, the XR 500, but it uses AC 2600,
mhm.
speeds. So it can be a little bit confusing. But if I was to get which extender, I have the 8000. I absolutely love it because I can plug Ethernet into it, which means that um, it's just a little bit more of a solid connection. I can play the Switch in the bedroom and have a solid, a seemingly solid connection. It's still connecting Wi-Fi to the router, um, but it's pretty good.
Hamad says the EX 7700 also has a switch. So no, it doesn't also have a switch. However, if you did want to expand the Ethernet capacity of your unit, you could add a switch to your
Yeah.
system and then effectively have multiple ports on your, more ports on your EX 7700. Okay, question from Marlon, who's coming back after a few weeks. Good to see everybody. Problem with random disconnection with VPN or not. Changed to AP, still had a problem. Repositioned the satellite, still had issue. This is with the Nighthawk R60, MR60. So I'm assuming you have the entire system, like an MK62 or 63, um, and you're having problems with a random disconnection with VPN. So there's really no integration to my understanding of like a VPN with the MK systems. There's obviously kind of like the hybrid VPN integration with the XR500. So if you're having an issue once you turn on the VPN, I would reach out to your VPN provider. There shouldn't be any, conflicts with your hardware. Um, oh, looks like he upgraded the firmware and now it's working. Okay,
Oh, okay.
well that works.
That's
I
great.
think that looks
I
good.
do have one thing for Hamid. The EX 7700 has two Ethernet ports in the back, while the 8000 has four. Just wanted to
Yeah, I
clarify.
was confusing with the 7500.
Yeah. Which is the 7500 is the Wi doesn't have the Ethernet capability, but the 7700 does. It only has two. 8000 has four. I'd still
Yeah,
get the 8000.
yeah.
Cool.
And then
Um,
Marlon, hit us with your question.
yeah, please feel free to ask us your question. That's weird that a firmware upgrade fixed your VPN. Maybe your Wi-Fi just overall was having issues. Um,
It's always good to try to be on the latest firmware,
I
and
agree.
it's just a good practice. And also, as we've said before, it's also good practice that, like, you do maintenance to your car, you do maintenance to a lot of things. um, I would recommend at least once a year to factory reset your router, you know um, get the latest firmware. Call all of your SSIDs the same, but just start from scratch, and just make sure that everything's running sweet. I do that with Windows. Every once in a while you've got to, Windows updates so many times that it writes over itself, and you start getting some corruption. So um, it's always best to clean slate from time to time.
Totally. You just reminded me, Ben, I need to update the firmware on my car.
On your car.
On my car. I need to do
Uh,
that. I've been meaning to do that. You mentioned firmware and cars, and I was like, I need to do
yep.
that. Okay, let's see. The name on the device have numbers behind them. Is this something with firmware upgrade? The name on the devices.
Hmm.
Do you mean your client devices, like the devices that are connecting to your system? Because if so, that probably has more to do, with your client device than it does with your router or your satellite. Yeah, let me know what you mean when you say that. See if we can help you out.
And then Hammond has a question. If he gets an issue, can he refer to us? Yes. If you look in the description below, you can see how to send in something to us through the support ticket. Make sure that you have that hashtag stay connected, and you can always give us an email, and the team will take a look at it.
Cool. Okay. The
The SSID has a
SSID.
number.
It could be that when you updated your firmware, it changed the SSID. That should be something that's really easy to change back. And I highly suggest that you do change it back to your original SSID because if change around your Wi-Fi system and you have the same when you change it, you have the same SSID and the same password, your client devices will automatically reconnect. If your SSID did change, you'll have to manually go and like reconnect your phone and your iPad and your Roku. But if it's all the same, then there won't be a problem. So I would definitely suggest going into your MK62 or 63 firmware and just changing it back to the way it was, just for your own, peace of mind and saving yourself some time. This is
Yeah,
especially important with smart home devices. If you have like a bunch of those, it's really a pain to reconnect them all. So,
especially when you have, in a modern home, you have a ton of devices.
mhm.
I have 25 devices, and that's just a pain in the butt to connect each device again. Each device has the same ID, but a number behind it. Yeah, Marlon, if you could actually screenshot that and send that in to us. It just seems a little strange what's going on. I don't know, Darren. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to see it.
That's probably like a question for the product team from that series.
Yeah.
If it's not affecting, your Wi-Fi, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think it might just be like kind of a new naming convention, perhaps, that the team decided to implement onto that software. But yeah, let us check it out. I mean, I'm kind of curious now. Will Netgear ever make a MOCA adapter?
A Mocha
A Mocha
adapter,
adapter. Well,
multimedia over
I love
co-op.
coffee, so I hope we do.
Yeah.
We did make one. I'm not sure if it's still out there to buy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at what this even is. I've never heard of this.
it was the gosh, what was the name of that thing? The MCA 1001. Is
Yep.
that it?
Yep. And we had a version 2 as well.
Yeah. Let me see if there's actually a page.
Yeah, I'm trying to read up on the
I'm
technology
not
here.
not sure if it's even available anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a hold of it. It's fairly older.
Yeah, I don't think this is something we'll make again, to be completely frank.
Someday.
If you do want to kind of dig through the internet and try to find one from us because you're a fan of our products, firstly, thank you. But to answer your question, this does not sound like something we would make again. It seems like it's something that is kind of an older technology. And we are super focused on stuff like Wi-Fi 6 and all the newest protocols. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, this is interesting.
You never know, like, the crazy stuff that we have made or are making, or
We used to have a streaming box at one point too.
Yeah,
I found one
we've
in
done a lot of
once.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I oh man, that was one of my favorite things to go look at, is the e-waste, is because there's all sorts of crazy
That's where I got my modem.
devices.
I got a brand new CM1200 out of the trash.
Yeah,
I still use it to this day.
prototypes and one-offs, and John Paul Bacon, which is a fantastic name, by the way. I have Nighthawk, and wanted to get something better with he's got the 70D 7800, the X4X with the X8
So,
look like?
correct me if
Hmm.
I'm wrong, but that's a gateway kind of format, isn't it? It's a like
Yeah,
a
I
cable
believe
modem
so.
Yeah,
router.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, John. I don't know, what you're looking to spend, and yeah, I don't know what your budget is, but I always suggest every time I get asked what kind of product to buy, I suggest the Wi-Fi 6 version, just because it's becoming a much more common and stable protocol, and you're seeing a lot more like client devices like iPhones and Samsungs um, having Wi-Fi 6 compatibility. So I would suggest going with the CAX80 personally. It's a cable modem router similar to what you're asking us about, but it's going
He
to
has
have that Wi-Fi
DSL.
6. I'm sorry.
He has DSL.
Oh, he has DSL.
Yeah. So what he would need to do, I suggest the best thing you could do is get a DM200, which is just a modem for DSL that we offer,
Hmm.
and then you can go through the range of any router that we offer for
I would
what
agree.
fits your needs to hook up to that modem.
Yeah, I would agree. And that way you're still able to get Wi-Fi 6, which I think is
Yeah.
kind of just in 2020, getting new networking equipment, um, getting that Wi-Fi 6 is really wise, just given the fact that it's the newest protocol. It's been out for a while now, so it's stable. You're not like buying, the first car, it's not going to break down. So, um, yeah, that would be our
Yeah.
suggestion. And it looks like Hamad is asking for the link, and Christine is giving that link to him. So, shout out
Yeah.
to Christine in the background. Always a pleasure to
Yeah.
have somebody helping us out.
Always.
Okay, well, I think we have caught up on all the questions. As we mentioned earlier in the stream, we are going to cut this one a little early. So you guys have 19 minutes left to ask us your questions. So please feel free to ask us whatever you'd like about networking or Netgear or um, our beards or our
Gaming.
Yeah.
glasses.
Gaming.
Anything fun.
I'm back. I'm back with the beard. And I'm never going to use that trimmer ever again. 'Cause
I'm thinking of,
one,
of doing what Darren's got going on here and just, going
Just let
longer.
it, just let it
going
go.
longer. Just
Yeah,
let it
just
go.
just for fun.
Yeah, I want more of the length because I want to get these the mustache to
Oh, to,
wax.
to curl it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going for my musketeer beard. So
Yeah, I feel like once you get in, like once you have a beard, you can't go back. You never
yeah,
shave it. Like,
I shaved it. It was so weird. Like it was so weird the first couple days. Oh, Richard Long, is it is that similar to the new HDMI over IP switches that there's a tech video a couple of weeks ago? It seemed like quite high rack mounted bits of kit. So the HDMI, so it's not HDMI over IP. It's actually AV over IP. It's a little bit more. Uh, it travels a lot farther than HDMI can. HDMI kind of loses its signal. I think about if you're running wires about 100 feet, you start seeing some signal loss. But yeah, the was it the 4300, the M4300 switch is what's being used. It's amazing technology. It's being used in installations. There's, First Man, that movie, they used it instead of green screen, which is starting to become a lot more prevalent. The Mandalorian
yeah.
uses similar
Well,
technology.
what's amazing about the technology is like how much we were able to cut the price from older solutions. Like I remember Ben and I worked on like doing a bunch of videos in the gaming lounge with the um, video wall that we had there, and seeing one how compact the solution is, and two how much we're able to cut the price. It's really pretty cool. Um, I feel like that's a rabbit hole to go down that we probably across the board here don't have all the knowledge on because it's very complex and very niche. But if you're motivated to look into it, It's really cool. But we have another gaming question here for Ben, and this is a classic question. IPv6 on or off?
On.
On.
Um,
And then the next question is port forwarding for gaming.
I actually don't have to. I don't use that on the XR500, which I have, because I'm already prioritizing by gaming device. Port forwarding is sort of an older version of that. I would, if you don't have a Nighthawk Pro gaming router, then yes, I would port forward. If you do, you don't have to worry about it because you can set priority by the device that you're, like either your computer or Xbox or PlayStation, and you can also go into the QoS and look at prioritizing um, the actual game. So the router will take care of that for you. But if you're in like a Nighthawk or an Orbi, yes, then port forwarding.
I think port forwarding's become less of an issue nowadays. I
Yeah.
think games have figured out that people are going to run into that, and they've figured out a way for that not to interfere with your experience as much. Because I remember 10 years ago, you had to port forward everything just to see each other on the internet to play games.
Yes, exactly. I don't. Especially, I remember you have to open up one port for the chat, one port for the game.
Yeah.
Well, we're past that, thankfully. Sounds like a real just pain to deal with. And then the rest of the question is just what settings are the best for gaming. So aside from IPv6 and port forwarding, like what else would you suggest to Xenon here for the best connection?
It just depends on what router they have too.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really know what router they have, but as long as you're prioritizing your gaming system when you're gaming and someone's not hogging all the internet with their Netflix stream in the other room, which the XR500 does a really good job of letting you control those speeds on who's getting what, so your gaming is always solid.
Yep,
Cool.
I agree.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Okay, so from John Paul Bacon, he's asking what are the model numbers for the items that we suggested. Okay, so firstly, we really only suggested one product concretely, and that was the DSL modem that Darren suggested. Can you remind us what that was?
Yeah, the DM200.
DM200. Okay, so the DM200 for your modem. And then for your router, I would suggest assessing your budget and buying whatever RAX router pairs with that budget. Oh, great. So Christine linked the DM200 to John Paul. And then, yeah, John, just think about how much you want to spend and buy that RAX router. So that's going to be something like the RAX 15, RAX 20, RAX 40, 50, 80. There's a bunch of them. So just find whichever one pairs for you, and I'd go with that one. And that's your best bet, in my opinion. Cool. I think we did catch up again, which is great. Yeah, to everybody watching, you've got 12 minutes left to ask your questions. So we'll be here for another 12 minutes. And another quick reminder, if you are enjoying the stream and we're helping you out, we really appreciate likes. Helps us get seen on YouTube a little bit more. So it's always great when you guys are able to help us out. So please do if you're enjoying the stream.
Also makes our bosses happy.
Yes, it surely does. In fact, I will like the stream. I don't know if that's cheating. Okay, so John Paul says budget isn't as much of an issue. Okay, so then I'd go with the RAX 200 personally, if budget isn't an issue. RAX 200 is our best router. Question from Brennan, and this is something that Michael has answered before, so we'll have to do our best. Does Zigbee interfere with Wi-Fi? Does anybody have an answer for that? I personally do not.
I'd have to do some research into that. I mean, I'm not familiar with Zigbee.
Yeah, we have gotten this question before, Brendan. It's a pretty enthusiast, niche question. And our enthusiast niche guy is fortunately not here with us today. He was affected by the fires in California, and he's currently moving back to his home. So thankfully, he's able to do so, and we're very happy about that. But he's not here today. So tune back in next week. He should be here and ask your question. He's going to be able to give you a great answer. He knows all about these like very enthusiast level networking questions. We have not, in the 4 months we've been doing this show, we have not stumped Michael. He's had an answer for everything so far.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy. So please come back next week and we'll help you out. If you connect your EAX8000 to your router with Cat8 cable for a back connection instead of using your bandwidth. Okay.
I think you could.
Yes,
Yes.
you could. If you have the Cat8 cable, that's great. If you don't yet, I would suggest going with Cat6. To be completely frank, Cat8's a little overkill. And it's just not worth the money. I mean, if you really want to have like the number one newest protocol, feel free to do it. But personally, I would suggest just using a Cat6 cable. Save your money. You're not going to notice the difference. And that is straight from Michael. So you know you're getting a good answer. Cool. But to speak more to that, I think it's great to use a wired backhaul for extenders. It definitely improves speed and stability. The tri-band networks are great. I've used it before personally. Having that dedicated backhaul, it is incredibly effective, but you just can't quite beat wired connections. So,
yeah,
great question and a great solution for anybody watching who is looking to improve their extender network. Cool. So we are caught up once more. It looks like Hamad already has a Cat7 cable, perhaps.
That's fine.
That, that would do good. Yeah, use that if you have it. Okay, but we're caught up. So do we have any gaming themed questions? We don't have Angelo as our lifeline for filler questions like we usually do. So
I know.
I mean, I'm excited for the Mario collection that got announced. I want to go back and play those 3D Marios for Switch.
Oh, nice. What's actually in that collection?
Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy all in one game.
Mario Galaxy is like my all-time favorite Mario game.
And they reworked the controls so you don't need a Wiimote for Galaxy, which I think is going to be even better.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
So I use GameCube controllers for Smash because I'm a big Smash Bros. Player. Can you use them for like other games? Like, do they work for like, Mario?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I'll have to try that. I just don't know like what the remapping process would look like, but
it's a limited release too, so it comes out on the 18th, and I think it's only printed for a couple months, they said.
Oh, is it like you have to get the physical game?
No, you can download it.
Okay.
But even the download's limited. They're going to take it off.
I'll have to look into this. I really wanted to get all of my games physically just because I think it's fun to collect them, but currently I have both. I only have two games. I have Animal Crossing and I have Smash Bros. And they're both digital, so I really want to get like physical copies. Okay, well, we are back to some questions here. Question from Xenon here. Is UPnP safe to use?
Universal plug and play. If your router has the latest firmware and you've gotten all the latest, the latest firmware, the latest security, then it should be an issue.
Cool. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see.
Yeah. There's been banter back and forth, but usually that it is something that all networking is aware of, and you look at in universal plug and play. it does make it super convenient. I'd have to say that, for 99.9% of people out there, you're probably not going to have that as an exploit. So your chances are very low. But just make sure that you have the latest firmware, and usually will have that as something that's taken care of.
Totally. Okay. And then the next question is from Hawk99, who says, "How about a firmware update for the R9000?" So
Sounds great.
yeah, it does sound great. Hawk, just to give you some context, for the firmware updates for specific products, those are kind of in the hands of the product team for that line. So we personally don't have any insight as to when there's going to be the next update for that. But I'm sure the product team is working, to fix any bugs or bring more features. So if you are an R9000 owner, that's one of our most popular routers. We know that there's a lot of people that are using that system. So stay tuned. There should be updates periodically. Okay. And Hamad says, "Do tell about." I'm not sure. Hamad, let us know what you want us to tell you about. Oh, Wi-Fi 6E. Yes, we have heard of Wi-Fi 6E. We're exploring it, so stay tuned. Okay. And we're coming down to the last couple minutes here, so we're going to try to rapid fire some of these questions here. Question from Warpig, who says, "Hey there, I just purchased the Nighthawk AX8 cable modem. Can we talk about it for a little bit?" Oops, pardon my doorbell. But yes, great product, right? So many people don't want to have to deal with all the finicky aspects of having a modem and a router and dealing with all that setup and maintenance. They just want to get one unit, plug it in, it's good to go. And that's what the CAX80, which I believe is what you're talking about, is. It's a simple solution that brings you the best technology out there. So yeah, I mean, if you bought that, I think it's a great purchase. It does as advertised. I think it's a cool design as well. I think our industrial design team did a great job creating something that you don't have to hide away in a closet. You can keep it out and it looks cool, which is something that we're trying to do more. And yeah, so great purchase. We really hope you like it. If you need help setting it up or anything, we'll be here again next Friday to help you out. There's also a great knowledge base online with tons of stuff to reference. So best of luck with the product. Gabriel Lopez says, "Thank you for all the help. I like all NETGEAR products. I have a NETGEAR router, extender, and now a power line, and the power line gives me better performance on my PS4. Well, that's awesome because the PS4 can be a little finicky.
That's
so
awesome.
if you're getting good performance on your PS4,
anything positive with the PS4 is our work is done. It's that's the crusade that we've been trying to do. So that's awesome. I'm glad it's working out for you. That's fantastic.
Totally. Let's see. Any
Any clues on the updates? I'm gonna have to say that both of the things it's on next Tuesday. I'll give you a clue. They both are gaming related, and your second clue is on a scale of 1 to awesome. They're both awesome.
We got some cool stuff coming up.
And I'll give you a third clue. Some of the stuff you guys have been asking for a while. So.
Yeah, we've been pretty quiet about some of the stuff that is coming up because, you got to be quiet in the realm of introducing things to the public as a corporation. But
yeah,
we're almost there. We're almost there where we can tell you guys everything we've been working on. It's been a long time coming. So
it's been a long time. It's been on the forefront of my brain for a while. And I would love to tell you guys all about it, but I can't until Tuesday. So otherwise, they'll cut off my power like they did last week. No, just kidding. Yeah. We can't say anything until then. So definitely check it out. Tuesday noon, same spot that you're watching right now. Just in the last couple minutes, if you can give us a like or two. We only have 12. If we can get up to like 15, 16, man, that would be great. It'd really show that that we're doing our job. And let's get this last question out. It's
I think
hot.
we missed Brendan's question.
We did.
Did we miss Brendan's question?
Brendan.
Apologies, Brendan. We were
Sorry
trying to
about
rapid
that.
fire and we missed your question.
How do the Wi-Fi channels 1, 6, and 11 totally ignore each other without being, even though they're all on the same band frequency?
There is a 20 megahertz difference between each channel on the 22.4 gigahertz band, so they're all slightly different.
Just like all of your radio stations use an FM frequency, but 99.7 and 105.5 are on different frequencies of those bandwidths, different channels. It works kind of very, very similar in that respect. And I think
I didn't know that. That's a really cool fact. I'll bring that up at NETGEAR parties.
Yeah, because that's how it works, Darren, right? It's
there's a 20 megahertz gap between channel 1 and channel 2, and like it's just a little bit bigger within the 2.4 gigahertz band.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, it works just like different radio stations. Think about it that way.
Okay,
I think that's the easy way to.
Last question before we log off. We have a question from Hawk. Thank you for all your questions, Hawk. We appreciate all the engagement. I'm thinking of using lag, LAG, on my R9000 to another smart switch. Is that worth doing? I don't know. Darren, Ben, what would you say?
Lag.
He's using a lag switch. I'm looking up what a lag switch is right now.
Link aggregation.
Link aggregation.
For me, lag in gaming is bad. So I'm always like, that's a bad thing.
We were confused.
But yes, the link aggregation to another smart switch, yeah, totally worth it. Mm-hmm. Anytime you can aggregate your links, you're getting double the juice.
Yeah.
I was really confused too. I'm like, lag isn't a good thing.
That's not a good thing. Yeah.
It's like,
no, totally.
Yeah, because what it does is it uses parallel connections. So if you're beyond the limit of one, it utilizes the other lane as well. So yes.
Yeah, if you got the ports to do it coming off of your router, totally do it.
Yeah.
It's a safe fail too. It'll go through one if one fails.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. You got us up to 16. I'd love to get it up to 20 before we totally, log out. But, thank you so much for the likes. Thanks for taking the time out on your Friday afternoon and spending it with us. Everybody have, in North America, or at least in the United States, have a great long weekend. And everybody, where should I email? Below in the description, we'll give you all the information. You can access our support and just follow the links and then email through there.
Also, the email was just given in the chat to Hawk. So Marlon, if you want to just use that email, you're welcome to. And then right before we log off, just wanted to say really quick, Cat 8 is overkill.
It is.
For Hamad. So that's the end of the show. That's the last question. Everything Ben said. Just wanted to corroborate. We had a great time. Thanks for your questions. Thank you for the likes and the engagement. And if we didn't answer your question, tune back in next week, and we will be here to help you out.
See you next week. So everybody stay safe.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks.